Secrets of the Louvre. The night cloaked Paris in a soft velvet cover, under which the Louvre, one of the most majestic and famous museums in the world, shone like a jewel. Its illuminated domes and facades rose above the calm waters of the Seine, embodying centuries of history and mystery. The architecture of the Louvre was truly impressive, strict classical lines mingled with Gothic elements, creating an architectural symphony. Towering columns adorned with carvings and statues stood as silent guardians at the entrance, while the glass pyramid in the inner courtyard reflected the stars in the night sky. Alberto paused for a moment, admiring the grand building. "Impressive, isn't it?" Leia said, casting a quick glance at him. "Yes indeed," Alberto nodded. "This place seems to breathe magic and mystery." Approaching the hidden, inconspicuous entrance to the museum's restricted section, they noticed it was guarded not by a regular security system but by an ancient creature, a sphinx. The formidable yet mesmerizing guardian patrolled back and forth, its eyes glowing with wise fire. The immense lion's body with a human head was adorned with ancient patterns, and folded wings on its back gave it a mythical grandeur. "Who dares to disturb the peace of this sanctuary?" boomed the Sphinx's voice, its eyes flashing with a blue light. Alberto and Leia stopped, listening intently. Leia stepped forward confidently. "We come in search of knowledge and answers," she said. "But we are ready to accept your conditions." The Sphinx chuckled softly, its voice like the rustle of sand in the desert. "If you wish to proceed, you must answer 3 riddles. 1 for her, and 2 for you, Midge," it said, slowly turning its head towards Alberto. "We are ready," Alberto said firmly. "The first riddle is for you, girl," the Sphinx began, its gaze fixed on Leia. "It has roots, but does not grow, it rises higher, but cannot walk. What is it?" Leia thought for a moment, her eyes scanning the facades of the Louvre, and suddenly she smiled. "A mountain," she answered confidently. The Sphinx nodded, its eyes shining with approval. "Correct," it said. "Now it's your turn, Midge." "The second riddle, I have no eyes, but I can see everything you have done. I have no legs, but I can follow you. What is it?" Alberto pondered for a moment, but the answer came almost immediately. "Your shadow," he answered calmly. The Sphinx rumbled in satisfaction, lowering its head. "Correct. The final riddle, what belongs to you, but others use it more than you do." This riddle proved more challenging. Alberto furrowed his brow, deep in thought. Leia waited patiently, her gaze filled with trust. Eventually, a smile appeared on the Midge's face. "My name," he said with certainty. The Sphinx was silent for a long time, then slowly rose and stepped aside, allowing them to pass. "You have answered correctly, Midge. Proceed. But remember, the Louvre holds many secrets. And not all of them are ready to reveal themselves to night visitors," warned the Sphinx, before falling silent again and lying down motionless, like a statue. Alberto and Leia exchanged looks of relief and anticipation, and, without further words, slipped into the dimly lit corridor. Inside, it was quiet and majestic. The high-vaulted ceilings, adorned with ancient frescoes and stained glass, seemed to transport them to another time. Dimly glowing lamps in the distance softly illuminated their path. They moved cautiously past security posts, using Leia's skills and Alberto's magic. Once inside the restricted section, they slowed their pace, their eyes wide with astonishment. Shelves and displays here were filled with magical artifacts not seen in a regular exhibition. There was a unique atmosphere here, ancient, as if each exhibit held its own secret. Look, whispered Alberto, pointing to a display case containing a massive crystal shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. That's the stone of illusions. It can alter perception of reality. And over there, look, added Leia, pointing to an ancient magical compass spinning in different directions, though their approach clearly should not have activated it. The compass of destiny. It always points to where a person will find answers to the most important questions. They continued, delving deeper into this strange, mysterious world of magical artifacts. At every turn, new and fascinating items appeared: potions, ancient books, figurines, amulets, and crystals. Each seemed to hold particles of ancient magic. Leia stopped at a display case holding a strange mask adorned with gemstones. She felt a slight chill, as if something elusive and dangerous emanated from the mask. "I wouldn't touch that," whispered Alberto. "That's the mask of forgotten faces. It can erase your identity if you wear it." Leia nodded, stepping back slightly. They continued moving, delving deeper into this forbidden realm. The air was thick with magic, ancient and powerful. The heroes sensed that something truly great and important awaited them ahead. The phantom game of the Louvre. Alberto and Lee continued their journey through the forbidden halls of the Louvre, shrouded in ancient magic. Each step in this mysterious place seemed filled with secrets, and the air was thick with the anticipation of upcoming challenges. However, they soon realized they were not alone in these dark corridors. Small, ghostly apparitions, pale and transparent, began to appear in the rooms, barely visible figures that seemed like fragments of mist. Their glowing eyes followed Alberto and Lee's every move, guiding them like invisible tour guides. The ghosts drifted about, sighing and whispering ancient names and dates, like pieces of long-lost memories of the Louvre. "This feels strange," Lee whispered, looking around. "It's as if this museum has a life of its own." "I suppose it always has," Alberto replied thoughtfully, his gaze drifting over the shadows and exhibits. "Magic, history, artifacts, all of it must have left its mark." As they entered the central hall, the atmosphere seemed to change abruptly. The space around them grew denser, and the air hummed with the distant rustling of thousands of voices. Before them appeared the grand phantom of the Louvre, a tall and majestic figure, its silhouette glowing with a silver light that cast shadows on the walls. The phantom wore ancient attire, reminiscent of French nobility, and held a glowing staff. "Welcome to my domain, mortals," its voice echoed through the hall. "For thousands of years, I have watched people come and go, but you are rare visitors to these places. I sense something special in you. But before you can leave, you must entertain me." Lee tensed but maintained her composure. "And what is it that you want?" she asked. The phantom smiled, its glowing eyes sparkling. "A game. A simple game. If you win, you may continue your journey. If not, well, you know." Alberto and Lee exchanged glances. The choice was clear. "We accept your challenge," Alberto said firmly, gripping his magical staff. The phantom clapped its hands, and fiery sparks began to appear in the air before them. They swirled, spiraling until they formed 6 floating fire wands. Each glowed with bright red fire and was adorned with ancient runes. The wands wavered as if preparing to attack, their magic pulsing with threatening power. "Fight my fire wands," the phantom proclaimed. "Only one who can master magic can claim victory." Alberto studied the wands carefully, his mind racing. The wands reminded him of tarot cards, the 6 of wands symbolizing victory through struggle. And this coincidence could not be accidental. "Lee, be careful." It's not just fire, they might attack us from different directions," he warned, quickly conjuring a small protective shield in front of himself. The first wand shot forward, its fiery light piercing the air straight at Alberto. But he managed to raise his hand and direct his magic. Streams of air from his fingers quickly swirled, dissipating the fire and scattering it into flames. "Not bad," he smirked, feeling he had the situation under control. But the wands weren't going to stop. Two more attacked simultaneously, releasing chains of fire that resembled fiery whips. Li deftly dodged, swiftly leaping to the nearest knight statue. "Did you think I was just standing still?" she smirked, glancing at Alberto. Li knew that in a battle with magical beings, her agility and cunning would be her greatest weapons. Once on high ground, she noticed that the wands moved chaotically, which could be used to her advantage. She threw a rope she had with her and, with masterful skill, grabbed the nearest wand, wrapping it around. With a powerful yank, Li pulled the wand down, throwing it off course. "One more!" she shouted. Alberto, seizing the moment, directed his magic at the remaining wands. He knew a few spells, but one was especially useful in such situations. The water flow spell. Magical words fell from his lips, and before him appeared two streams of water that he directed at two wands swirling around Li. The water met the fire, hissing, and the wands momentarily lost their power. Li deftly evaded the attack of another wand and then threw a dagger straight into the center of the fireball. The wand shook, weakening. Only two remained. They floated as if meditating, waiting. Their fire flickered brighter, becoming unstable. "Li, I'm going to use an old trick," Alberto shouted, sensing their chances were improving. He focused and cast a cold summoning spell. Though weak, it was powerful enough for this. A cold wind swept through the hall, and the wand's flames began to dwindle. Li, seeing this, rushed at the remaining wands with a dagger in hand. With one final strike, one of them was knocked out. Her movement was so swift that the second wand simply extinguished under Alberto's magic. "We did it," he sighed, lowering his hands. The phantom of the Louvre reappeared before them, its eyes glowing with a strange light. "Impressive. Very impressive. Your abilities have surpassed my expectations. You have earned the right to continue your journey." With these words, the phantom dissolved into the air, leaving them alone among the mysterious halls of the Louvre.